Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Marcus Elbow. Welcome to Elbow Media Studios, where all we do over here is keep it crunk, baby. Elbow Media Studio. Let's take a look at the MPC or the iMPC Pro 2 for the iPad and for the iPhone. This is a very interesting app because you already know Akai already has the MPC hardware, and they just came out with the MPC 1, which is a cool piece of gear that I'm thinking about getting and doing some reviews on that and doing some tutorials. And don't forget, I got some MPC Live tutorials coming later on this year as well. But I went ahead and took a chance and got this application. It's been around for a while. I really wasn't interested in it in the beginning, but I've heard that they've did some updates and they did some optimization to the larger iPads and the 12.9. So I guess it was time for me to go ahead on and download it. I downloaded it for the iPad and I downloaded it for the iPhone, because if you get it for the iPhone as well, they give you some additional sound packs with it. I went on ahead and go ahead and purchase that because it looked like a good deal for me. And let's go ahead on and see if this application can knock BeatMaker 3 out the box. Let's check it out, man. Come on. Y'all know how we do. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at iMPC 2 and see what this cool app has to offer. Okay, so when you first boot this application up, you're going to be greeted with the demo projects here. So yeah, this is how it's going to come up. So you're going to have these songs that you can just load up and kind of get to see what this app has to offer. I guess we'll just go ahead and load up one of the demos. So let's just go ahead and hit the trap. And then once you tap that, it's going to pull everything up. And here we go. This is the interface of the iMPC Pro 2. Now, just so you guys know, I do have a MPC Live, and I love that machine. It's pretty awesome. I'm looking on, maybe doing some tutorials in the future on that machine. But I wanted to pick this app up because I was curious as to what exactly does this app, bring to the table, because, a lot of people, that's in the MPC ecosystem, they really love their hardware. So, bringing something like this to the iPad is pretty unique. But from what I've noticed, just the few hours that I have been working with it, it's pretty cool. It actually makes me feel like I'm working inside of the Akai ecosystem, the MPC Live and MPC X ecosystem. And it's just being, kind of squeezed down into this little small form factor, but don't get it twisted, man. This is a pretty cool app. Let's go ahead on and do like we normally do, and we're gonna go through the overview so that you can kind of get a quick understanding about what's going on here. Okay, so let's start from the top left. Okay, you have like this little menu icon deal here. If you tap on that, it gives you a few options. You can actually save from here. It shows you the computer processing that you're doing. It shows your battery life for your iPad, which is pretty cool. It also, has auto copy, which is the process that Akai uses. You can share to YouTube. You can mix down, go to stems, things like that. You can connect with Music Hub, and you can have some MIDI and Ableton Live stuff going here. You also have some guides and some support stuff that you can, if you need to learn some more, you feel like I'm not teaching you enough, you can go in here. You can go to iMPC University. Also, you have a few more options, and then you can actually close and save from here. Let's go ahead and tap that and get out of that. All right, so as we go across the top, right here you have your sequence. This is the all your sequences that have been put together. You can actually pop in from each one and go, actually play a song in song mode and go from there. Right here, you have your tracks. So these are the different tracks as far as sounds you have inside of your sequence. The next one is going to be your program. Here's where you can go in and you can put different programs, plug them in inside of MPC, inside of iMPC. From here, you also have your transport controls here where you have your record, you have your stop, play, so forth and so on, your undo over there as well. And as we start going down on this left side, here is where your perform pad here, which is pretty cool because this kind of is the same thing that's on your MPC Live, but I love the way they kind of just have it to where you don't even have to go to another screen to use it. And let me go ahead and play this track, and I can give you a quick view or a quick demo of what that's like. I'm gonna go ahead and push play here. And if I go ahead and push my perform here, you'll see. Yeah, so that is pretty cool that they have that already ready for you. You don't even have to do anything. Once you push play, you can actually go to your perform and put all your effects. This is for if you're doing any live gigs or anything like that, you can definitely start performing real quick just right there. Of course, you have your 16 pads here on your right side. You have your different banks up here, A, B, C, and D, so that you can load as many sounds as you want as far as how many banks you have. So you can do the math on that and see how many sounds you could have, which is pretty cool. Going down on our left side, you have your note repeat, which is always pretty cool. Right? You have your note repeat, you have your note variation, so you can actually do it from here, which is pretty cool. It pops back in place. You have your time correct, which is your quantize. You have erase. You have your next sequence. You have track mute, which is pretty cool because if you have your track playing, you can hit that track mute and then you can start muting tracks from here, which is pretty cool itself, right? And then you have your pad mute as well, so you can go in and start muting your pads and getting rid of those as you see fit. Then you have your 16 levels, and if you do beats on BeatMaker 3, this is the same as whenever you hit the 16 levels or the track deal, and then you can use all your tracks. For instance, if I have this track playing, I hit 16 levels. Now I can do kind of like a track perform where it changes the tune and all that. And then you can change it from velocity to filter to resonance. It really depends on what you're trying to do with the 16 levels, but it's more or less a perform type of function, okay? Let's look at the bottom of the UI real quick. Down here, of course, you're in perform mode. So this is where you can play a track. You can mute and do some different things. If you go into tweak, this is where you can actually go in and change some of the settings for each pad. Okay, so you can change the pan here, as you can see there. You have a lot of things you can change. You can look at the tune. You can look at your levels, your low of high, low off high resonance filters. So you got all these different things. You got mute groups that you can play around with. If you're not familiar with mute groups is where if you have a hi-hat and you want that to be muted whenever you play your hi-hat, you can actually have that, mute that. That's what the mute groups are. You can actually go in and put effects in here if you just swipe, right? You got some different type of effects that you can do. If you just swipe back out, it will remove that effect. That's pretty cool right there. And you can do your, you have your envelopes up here. If you just tap on it, you can change that. You know, this is your amplitude. Right, and then you have your filter here. Now you can go in and change some of that stuff as well. Also, inside of this section is where you can edit your sound. So you can actually hit this little edit button down here on your left-hand side, and then you can get into your sample mode. If you're a BeatMaker 3 user, you would kind of be familiar with this setup. You can go ahead and just hit it one time, and you can mess around to it. You can hold it, listen to the sound, and you can go in and just edit and do some different things with that. You can hit cancel to get out of that. You can also sample inside of iMPC Pro 2. If you just hit that button there, as you can see, I'm talking here. If I hit that record arm, I will start to sample myself. This is a pretty cool function because guess what MPC is known for? It's known for sampling, chopping samples and things like that. I'm going to look at this in another video because I want to get real in depth with this. So we're going to look at maybe looking at that in the future. Okay, but that's the sampling section, and you have some different ways you can sample. You can go to the turntable here, and then you could actually go to Spotify or iTunes and actually sample from there, which is pretty cool. You also have some interrupt stuff you can do. If you want to use some of your keyboard stuff, you can sample from there and bring it in. And then you also have a resample here that you can actually resample some of your pads and do some of that stuff. Let's get out of that. We're going to talk about that in the future. And also you have audio paste. This is a process that Akai and the iMPC Pro 2 uses so that you can do your sounds and get all your sounds and everything in. That might be a little bright. You probably can't see that, but this is where all of your sound packs lives, and you can go in and you can purchase more sound packs and things like that inside of Audio Pace. We will look at that in the future as well. But that is the tweak section where you can go in, and like it says, you can go in and you can tweak some stuff. Okay, let's take a look at the timeline. Okay, inside of the timeline, this is something that you're going to be familiar with as well, because this is where you can go in and then you can edit some different things. You can go in and you can add some notes and do some things like that, which is pretty cool. This is just like any sequencer. It's just a place where you can actually add to your track. If you don't want to do it in the live form, you can do it in that way. But I'll just do an undo. Event added. Let's do an undo. Okay, boom. So we can get rid of that. So this is where you can go in and you can do some track edit, some fine tuning, and some things like that if you want to work with your track. Okay. All right. Let's go over to our mixer. Okay. This is our mixer. I like the way the mixer is set up inside of iMPC Pro 2. If we push play, we can do some of our normal stuff. We can mute, we got some different effects and things like that we can do over here. You have your reverb, delay, just some stuff that just right off the muscle they already got ready for you on each track. You have your EQ here. You have your pan. You have your chorus, delay, and reverb. If you just want to go in and pop some stuff in. On your main master track, you have some compression and some gain and some stuff like that over here. So they have some pretty cool things just right off the muscle that you can jump into and get started on your mix inside of iMPC Pro 2. And then right here you have an effects section that I definitely need to look deeper into, because you can go in and fine tune some of the things that they already have ready for you with the as soon as you boot it up with the reverb, delay, and things like that. Okay, so that's your mixer. Let's go over to our track section, and inside of our track section, this kind of looks like the other your timeline section, but it's just a more detail section, because now you have all your tracks and you can get a real overview of what's going on inside of your edit section and your tracks and what they're doing and how many bars, so forth and so on. You can go in here and you can mute, you can solo, you can change the name of your tracks and things like that. So that's pretty cool. You can also add more tracks here if you wanted to, and you can it asks you what type of tracks you want to add. You can do a drum, you can do an audio recorded track, or you can do an audio unit track. So that's pretty cool as well. Okay. And then if we go over into song mode, this is where you're going to figure out how do you want your song to be laid out. This is pretty much all of your sequences here. So if I push play, let's see if I just go on a beat and I push play, and then I click on breakdown, it's going to go to the next track after 8 bars, of course. And then you can just keep popping through each of the tracks. So this is your song mode. This is pretty cool. As you can see, you can have many different sequences to really make your song really cool and really precise. This is a pretty cool function as well. And this over here is where you can really break down and figure out how many bars you want, what your tempo is, what your time signature is, things like that. You can copy. You can copy each sequence. You can delete a sequence. You can go to audio copy, and then you can work with your sequences from there as well. Okay. And man, that is pretty much this application in a nutshell, even though there's a lot more to it. Let's go into a track that I did, just kind of experimenting with it, and we'll go from there. Let's see if we hit our menu button over here. We can go into my projects, and I'm gonna load up 0 Hour. And this is just a track that I was kind of playing around with, trying to get a feel of the software. Let's start with the verse, and we'll go from there. Let's play it, see how it sounds. And I'm just using all of the sounds that are within the program. If you buy the iPhone version of this software, you get 4 additional sound packs, which is pretty cool. It's only like $8.99, and some of these sound packs cost $5 a piece. So I saw the value in that, so I went ahead and banged it out. Yeah, I love that little perform area over there. That's pretty cool. And then if we go into our song mode, you can see that I have 4 different sequences. So if I just hit that intro, then I can just trigger the next one. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna be honest. I am actually really feeling this program just for the simple fact that I am an MPC user. That I am really impressed with what Akai has done with this software available for the iPad. To me, it feels real. It feels similar to what you get inside of MPC Live and MPCX. Of course, you're going to have a lot more going on with those hardwares, but just from an entry level perspective, this is actually pretty cool. I am actually liking this program, man. We're going to do some tutorials in the future. I just wanted to come by and give you a little overview quickly about how what's going on with it and how you get started and some things like that. But my next video is coming up. I'm going to show you how I did a beat, and we're going to try to work through some different things and get it started. All right. All right, man. Now that y'all have taken a look at the iMPC Pro 2 for the iPad, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little excited about this program. I think that Akai and the developers that made this application try to get as close to the MPC ecosystem as possible. There's a lot of familiar things that are happening in there. I love the way the UI is set up. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The UI is awesome. It's easy to get around. It's easy to understand. I want to do some more tutorials on the sampling and some of the other things because all of that stuff looks interesting. I want to get deeper into that. So y'all guys stick around, man. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and hit that sub button so you can get some of these future tutorials that I got coming for the MPC Live. And I'm gonna holler at y'all in a minute, man. It's your boy, man, Marcus Elbow Media Studios. Y'all know how we get down. All right, catch y'all in the next video. All right, peace.